on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Dr. Leanna of Chirofitgym. So this week I'm going to cover the deadlift, different aspects of the deadlift, and in this video today I'm going to be going over the hip hinge, which is a very vital movement that every human should know how to do. And it's very difficult to learn at first just because that motor pattern or motor control is not established yet. So the hip hinge allows us to distribute the stress between the low back and the hips evenly, and if you can't do this, if you can't hip hinge, then you start to kind of flex or round at the low back. And while that's okay if you're just like tying your shoes, it's not okay if you're deadlifting, for instance, or picking up a heavy load off the ground. So this video I'm going to show you a progression, some simple ways to learn how to hip hinge so that you can move in to the deadlift. Now first we're just going to start with our arms across the chest and then push our hips back. Now the main driver in this movement is the hips. So we're initiating with the hips, pushing them back into a hip hinge like so, and then squeezing the glutes to come up into a hip extension. Now for a proprioceptive cue, we're going to use a wall, and then we're just going to push our hips and our butt into the wall. So that's our cue, and then come back up. Alright, now to make sure that we're keeping our spine neutral with the hip hinge and not rounding through the back, we're going to use this pipe or pole, and the three main contact points are going to be the head, the mid-back, and the butt. Now if the pipe comes off any of those points while you're doing the hip hinge, you know that you're rounding slightly through the back. And again, if you need to, you can use the wall as a proprioceptive cue while you have the pole on your back. Now next we're going to progress to the loaded phase of the hip hinge. So either using, I like to start out with a kettlebell or an empty barbell just to get some load with the movement. So imagine this is an empty barbell and we're going to do the same concept, apply the same principles. So with a slight bend in the knees, we're just going to hold the barbell out in front of our thighs, and again, hip hinge. And then come up, really focusing on squeezing those glutes and extending at the hips. So there it is, guys. Try to really master the hip hinge so that it will set you up for better success with the deadlift.